this corruption is gonna stop. It's pushing good people over the top. It's causing pain they don't deserve. These fucking judges, what a nerve. I can smell the smoke in the air. People losing their lives every day. We can't stand for this bullshit game. It's time to light this shit on fire. Let's burn the bitch down. They take our lives. Let's burn the bitch down. It should be no surprise. Let's burn the bitch down. They deserve what they get. Let's burn the bitch down. There is no regret. They're taking kids, ruining their future, making dads run scared through the fire. The courts destroying families, they're such a liar. When the days turn into the nights, they give up, they have no fight. When you break the man, you take his soul. When you take his child, consider yourself told. Let's burn the bitch down. They cause our pain. Let's burn the bitch down. We're not insane. Let's burn the bitch down. They had their chance. Let's burn the bitch down. We show our stance. We won't stand for this anymore. Here I am, let's settle the score. I don't wanna bust your balls. Your honor, you need to fall. You lie almost every day. Pissed off parents are on their way. You can get away with this anymore. I'm scared when they pound on the door. You think this is a joke? You'll know better when you smell the smoke. We won't stand for this anymore. We are parents headed to war. Let's burn the bitch down. Let's burn the bitch down. Let's burn the bitch down.
Tiff and the Punisher, they won't back down. Fight for the children in every town. They are taking our kids every day. A child a minute, no one has a thing to say for those who have been isolated. Don't be worried, you have a voice today. So listen up everyone, here is the story. Child Protective Services is real. CPS is what they call it. They want our kids because it fills a lot of people's wallet. We all think it won't be us. We say when they come we will be so tough. It all sounds good when there's no one to take them. But when they come, your voice gets to breaking. Stay calm, step away. CPS ain't taking no one today. We are educated. Stay calm, step away. CPS, you need to leave. I know the tricks up your sleeve. You can't do what you're trying to do. We have done our homework. Don't do a damn thing without a warrant. You no longer will steal our kids this way. Tiff and the Punisher have come for the calling. They are giving us the CPS warning. Their voice is loud and clear. We stop losing our kids this year. Tiff wants to fight the entire planet. She is tired of our kids being taken, God damn it. She's been fighting CPS for 30 years, bringing children home from this disgusting mess. The Punisher is screaming out loud, abolish CPS and tear it down. I want all our kids to come back. Look at all those kids' pictures held up like thin tags. Together we are stronger than we need. We will tear down CPS with high speed. We will do so much being together. Birds of a feather flock together. So watch out CPS, here we come. Picking you one by one. We promise to bring back the family and prosecute the caseworkers unhandily. Give us back the kids you have taken. Tiff and the Punisher sending you all on a vacation. The one with bars in the windows and the only games you play are on Nintendos. Corruption in courts, here we come. We won't stop until it's done. You judges need to learn what you stand for. This is Tiff and the Punisher warrior. We cry out to all of you out there. We need support for a cause that many don't care. All children are being stolen way too often. So CPS, we plan on doing the stopping. Stopping.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there we go. Look at this, Tiff.
Make the picture bigger.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the Star Spangled Banner?
Yeah. It was supposed to move, too.
Uh,
It's not moving.
oh,
It's trying
that's
to.
all right. That's all right. We're in distress. It doesn't need to move.
Look at that. Where is that? We're on the moon.
Oh my God,
Holy smokes, there's kittens falling.
dude! What? On my
Do you
head.
see the? Do you see the? All right, kitties.
Jesus.
This is crazy. All right, come on, kitties, get down.
Oh my.
Yeah, get rid of the kitty.
Cat, bro. Get over here.
There we go.
Stay right here. No.
Nobody can see your face there.
I know that. There we go. Perfect. What's up, Tiff?
Well, it's the first Monday of the new year, and it's time we start whooping some asses.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the exact thing that we've got to do.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people out there that are dependent on us.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of you out there that people are depending on.
Yeah.
So what do we do?
Well,
What do we do?
I will tell you this. I got a call today,
Mm.
and
Oh, party.
so this girl took an advocate with her, very well known. I'm not going to say her name, but as soon as I say my protege, everybody should already know who I'm talking about. They told the father of this child that mom's playing games, and the next time she brought this person, they're going to remove the child from the grandmother. Who the fuck are you? Why are you so scared?
It's like tagging out, Mom, they're hurting me. I'm
Yeah.
losing, Mom. Yeah.
Yeah, they won't give her the drug test for her child. They won't give her drug test. Of course, all hers came back negative, but of course, when CPS ran theirs, both of them came back positive, and they did them within 48 hours of each other.
And that happens.
Can't move.
That does happen. That's what goes on. You know, I can attest to that. I literally walked out of jail, went into the truck, got out of the car, went into the place to go to the bathroom to get my drug test, and they told me that I tested positive. Now, there's
How
no
long were
way
you in
on
jail?
God's earth, long enough to not have anything in my bloodstream. I know that.
That's my point.
Right. Not quite Tiff time, but close. Close second. So, that's what they do. They lie. They blatantly lie. So I talked to the lady at the place because I said, no, there's no way that we're doing this. There's no freaking way, that this is happening. And of course, they're like, well, you need to take another drug test. And I said, put the brakes on. This is twice now you've done this to me. No more drug tests. Now, what do? They hold that against you, right? They're like, oh, you're not complying. You're not put. Why the hell am I going to go back and do another drug test that I'm going to be clean on? And yet, oh, there's Kitty. Why am I going to go back and do a drug test that I know I'm clean on? And she goes, there she went. That's their little playground up there. Why am I going to go take another drug test that they're going to tell me I'm positive on? Why would I even comply to that? Because you know what? They wouldn't, if you did something like that to them, they would immediately switch their caseworker. They wouldn't be on your case anymore. There's no way that they would allow you around these people anymore. All of this. But why is it that it's acceptable for, first of all, what the hell are they giving people 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drug tests, not drug tests, but hair follicle tests? Why are they giving them? They go back in time. They're not even supposed to be used for current situations. So you get a hair follicle test that doesn't show you like the first week, but it shows you the 6 months prior. Why are they continuously giving these to you?
And they take a lot of hair.
Yeah, it's very intrusive to the body. And there was, up until recently, I looked at this, judges were not even allowed to order hair follicle tests. They're changing it somewhat now. So there are places that they are. And the way that they were getting around it was they were getting around it by having GAL recommendations. Then the GAL would say, oh, we want to recommend maybe a hair follicle. So we'll do this. Hair follicles aren't even accurate. Not even close. They're like this much accurate. Like they're not even accurate. There's so many things that can go wrong. And then the second you go as a girl, here's the other thing that cracks me up. Imagine this, a girl that had her family stolen from her, kids taken, and she dyes her hair? No. Go figure, because I'm sure that these girls aren't going through some sort of crisis, right? That there's some sort of trauma. God forbid that they change their identity to feel like something else or feel better about themselves or whatever. But you're going to go to court and they say, look at her, Your Honor. She changed her hair. So she must be hiding a hair follicle test. Well, you're an asshole because you know what? You can't just wash away the stuff that's in there. They got to dissect into your hair follicle and they take this little core thing out and all of that. And they're still not accurate. But people think that just because you go and you put some bleach in your hair, look at them fight against the hair follicle test. They're fucking idiots. They are. Every one of them are idiots. And I can't believe that they get away with this shit. It's disgusting. I mean, it's sickening. And the amount of money. The money, hair follicle test, the most expensive test that you can possibly ask for. Why don't they take blood tests, Tiff? Why don't they use blood?
Well, I don't know, but I will tell you this: you better not come and
Maybe
meet the
because blood
fucking
would be
needle.
accurate. But maybe
Oh,
because blood would be accurate.
yeah, it would be more accurate. And here's the thing: she's passed all 10 of her urine tests, and it's not like 5 tests; it's like a 22 block drug
Mhm.
test.
Right. They're the whole damn kit and caboodle. Right down it.
But they did take
Yeah.
marijuana off their drug testing now here in Virginia
Mhm.
because it's going to be legal to buy here in September. And it's already recreational here.
Not saying that smoking pot on your kids isn't a thing that you should promote or do or, whatever. You know what I mean? And we're not promoting any of that by any step or any chance here. But it's the less of all the evils. And you know what? And shame on them anyway, because all of this stuff they did to us anyway. The people that are addicted to opiates and that stuff, I'm sure they were given pain pills when they had some sort of an issue in their life. And here they are going to the doctors and all of this. And one day they just said, "Hey, nope, no more for you." And now you're stuck. You're an addict and you didn't even know it. These pharmaceutical companies turned you into a complete drug addict and you didn't even have a clue that they did it. And what are you supposed to do now? Or what are you supposed to do if you're truly in pain?
Well, here's the thing. I had a client tell me when they asked her why she was off her meds, she said, because CPS told me that I
Yeah.
couldn't take my meds. And you know what that doctor
Mhm.
said? That CPS worker has no lawful authority to tell you to stop taking meds that your doctor has prescribed to you.
Mhm. Yeah. They do it though. And if you don't, it's going to cost you your child.
Yep. Well, that's where we the people need to. Well, I'm gonna say y'all because they know better than to fuck with me. I put my
Y'all the
foot
people.
down.
Y'all the
Huh?
people. Y'all
Yeah.
the people.
Because I don't know if y'all have ever seen the video Wide Awake when that little girl stomps her foot and the whole damn ground shakes and the earth shatters. Well, that's what I would be doing. Absolutely fucking not. Who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
But
that was here.
anyway, yeah,
That
that
was
was
here,
me.
Deidre. Well, no, not that part, but the girl that the judge made her have her pubic hairs. Remember? That was here.
Yeah. I wish I tell you what, they'd arrested me for a decent exposure that day.
Oh, I don't think the judge was up for arresting it for that day. Why
Yeah.
was he not arrested? Why wasn't he arrested for some sort of vagrancy or some sort of soliciting prostitution or something? Right? Like, why wasn't he done that to ask this girl to rip out her area and show her long parts, whatever, you know? And then you know what? That just shows what this judge knows. He obviously doesn't realize it's 2026 because it's all hardwood out there. There's no grass on the field anymore. So what
Right.
the hell is this guy asking you to shave anyway? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. No. And they're supposed
Right.
to have warrants anyway. And these are administrative judges. Y'all need to find out if your JD&R and dependency courts are court of records because here in Virginia, they are not.
Uh-huh.
I had the sheriff
So
argue with me about that.
what does that mean though? What does that mean if they're an administrative court? What does that mean?
That means it's not a real courtroom.
I know,
They are
but what
not
does that
real
mean?
judges. They're not real orders. Nothing.
Like to be a real judge, you have to be what? What does a real judge? What is a real judge? Because what an Article 3 judge, right? They're appointed for life, correct? Isn't that the difference between an Article 3 judge and then there's some judges that are elected in, right? But then there's some that are appointed. And I believe the appointment ones are there for a lifetime, right? The elected ones, I think, go through election phases and things like that. Um, but what is an administrative judge and what are their duties? Like, what's a magistrate, right? What's a magistrate? We don't ever talk about these things because,
Yeah,
when you get
magistrate.
arrested, what's a magistrate?
Well, I'll tell you what a magistrate here is in here because I can't tell you other states. Here, if you get arrested, you go in front of a magistrate, right?
Right.
They're at the fucking jailhouse. They determine if you get a bond or you don't get a bond, and they issue warrants or arrest warrants or whatever the case may be. That's what a magistrate here does. Now, I don't know what they do in other areas because I've heard that they're actually judges there. Magistrates in Virginia are not judges.
All right. It's a magistrate is a judicial officer who hears cases in a lower court and typically deals with more minor or preliminary matters. In your state, a principal function of a magistrate is to provide an independent, unbiased review of complaints of criminal conduct brought by law enforcement or the general public. So you're telling me that you are you're just there to the magistrate in your place is just reviewing complaints?
Our magistrate here, let's say me and old Pooh Bah across the street get into a fight.
They're appointed for 4-year terms.
So he goes down and goes to the jail because that's where our magistrates are at our jails. They walk in, they say, I'm here to see a magistrate. I want to get a warrant for somebody's arrest. They'll hand you a piece of paper and all the information you know. You need to fill out this complaint, and I'll decide if we're going to issue an arrest warrant or not. That's all our magistrates do. That's it. That's all. They don't even order protective orders, emergency protect. They can't order any of that stuff.
All this is for educational purposes too, Tiff, by the way.
Yeah, but I'm telling you about Virginia and my experience.
Right. No, I know, but I just wanted people to realize that this is just for educational purposes only.
Yeah, it is. So that's
Right.
what they do here in Virginia. There's only one place you're going to find a magistrate in Virginia, and it's your local jails.
Yeah, doesn't everybody remember that show Night Court?
That was so stupid, but yeah.
You're supposed to, when you get arrested, so it says, is you're supposed to go see a magistrate before you go to the police station, before you go anywhere to be detained. You're supposed to go and see a magistrate. And they've just kind of swept that under the rug. That's what Night Court was all about. Like, oh, we have to go and see a judge in the nighttime and because people get arrested. You're not supposed to be detained for long periods of time waiting for the judge to show up and decide whether you have a bond or you don't have a bond, or to allow these people to conglomerate some sort of stupid, idiotic story that they're putting together in their little stupid heads, you know, to tell you that they're stupid. You know, like that's that. So they're supposed to go see a magistrate. But what is an Article 3 judge, Tiff?
An Article 3 judge is actually a federal judge.
Oh, okay. What else do you know about it?
That's pretty much all I know, other than these courts that we're in and the local localities. They're administrative courts. Look up administrative courts.
All right. Slow down. You boss me around.
I know you miss me. I know you miss
I
me.
know not much change in 2026. Administrative courts. Administrative court. Yeah.
I think I sent you a clip on administrative courts.
I think I sent you a clip on something.
Let me double check.
Administrative court systems play a crucial role in the legal framework by ensuring that government actions adhere to principles of justice and legality. They're organized hierarchically. Ooh, that's a big word. Say that with some things in your mouth. Hierarchically, with specialized division to handle various administrative issues, ensuring efficient case management and I think I got them thrown out again.
You what?
Nothing. I'm just over here trying to fix what's going on in front of me.
Oh no, maybe I didn't send it to you.
Oh my God. Steph didn't send it. Didn't send it to me.
Oh my God. I'm going to have to find it. It broke it down. I watched it.
You must have been having one of your days where you're off and doing whatever and watching little love movies and Patrick Swayze running around on a dance floor and
what?
all of that.
I don't watch that shit.
You don't go watch that's not part of your emotional day stuff is Patrick Swayze flicks?
No.
Yeah, you almost hesitated there, didn't you? You didn't want someone to hear you.
No, I don't watch. No. The only thing I ever watched Patrick Swayze in was in whatever show he had where he was like a cop and then he died in real life. That was it.
Roadhouse.
I couldn't even tell you about Roadhouse.
Oh yeah, he just beat up a bunch of people in there.
Oh, well. Oh my God. I'm going to have to find it and send it to you. It was the other day. God bless America.
Land that you love.
Yeah.
Stand beside her and guide her through the night of the rise of above, through the mountains and the prairies, through the oceans, white with foam. See, these are all songs that people should still know how to sing. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
I just sent you one clip. Pull it up and play it.
Play this. Hold on. Does anybody notice how aggressive she is towards me? That's abuse.
Okay.
I am being abused by Tiff. Tiff is abusing me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, here's another one I want to send you. Hold on, let me.
Wise.
Oh my God, how can I get this one to you?
I don't know.
You just want to throw up in your mouth.
Oh, this is an attorney talking.
Oh, is that Lewis there?
There's another one.
This is Lewis? That guy Lewis?
I'm not sure. I'm looking through all my posts right now because I know I saw it. They broke it down the administrative courts. Did you get them?
I got to listen to the attorney and a thumbs up. So I'm trying to play the listen to the attorney one right now.
Oh.
Here we are. I got it now. Okay, everybody. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Get ourselves a treat. Boy, if someone makes money off of these jingles, they should be making bank off me today.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I got it right here. Hold on. Here we go. Share.
I'm sending you a couple of them.
All right, Jeff, send them up. Oh.
It's off with wonderful language like, wherefore premises considered, the undersigned request of this honorable court the following. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, wherefore premises considered, the undersigned request. Who came up with that bullshit? And it's every pleading you see, it drives nuts. I think that part of the reasons, lawyer and the civil lawyers will shoot me, but they're the ones charging, $750 an hour for an associate and living on the the fifth floor of the big tall buildings. Civil lawyers, fun fact, they are paid by the hour. It is a matter of financial survival for them to find as many problems to solve and to create as many problems for the other side to solve as problems. More problems, more pleadings, more time, more money. As lawyers, we have made a profession out of complicating simple things. Read any pleading, or read 90% of the pleadings filed in courtrooms. You just want to throw up in your mouth. It starts off with wonderful language like, wherefore premises considered, the undersigned request of this honorable court the following. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, wherefore premises considered, the undersigned request. Who came up with that bullshit? And it's in every pleading you see. It drives me nuts. I think that part of the reasons, lawyer and the civil lawyers will shoot me, but they're the ones charging, $750 an hour for an associate and living on the, the 50th through the 70th floor of the big tall buildings. Civil lawyers, fun fact, they are paid by the hour. It is a matter of financial survival for them to find as many problems to solve and to create as many problems for the other side to solve as problems. More problems, more pleadings, more time, more money. As lawyers, we have made a profession out of complicating simple things. Read any pleading, or read 90% of the pleadings filed in courtrooms. You just want to throw up in your mouth. It starts off with wonderful language like, wherefore, premises considered, the undersigned request of this honorable court the following. What the fuck does that even mean? I mean, wherefore premises considered, the undersigned request. Who came up with that bullshit? And it's in every pleading you see. It drives me nuts. I think that part of the reasons and the civil lawyers will shoot me, but they're the ones charging, $750 an hour for an associate and living on the, the 50th through the 70th floor of the big tall buildings. Civil lawyers, fun fact, they are paid by the hour. It is a matter of financial survival for them to find as many problems to solve and to create as many problems for the other side to solve as problems. More problems, more pleadings, more time, more money. As lawyers, we have made a profession out of complicating simple things. Read
Darren.
any pleading, or read 90%
Go to the last
of the
one I just
pleadings
sent you.
filed
This woman is a
in
beast.
courtrooms. You just want to throw up in your mouth. It starts off with wonderful
I know, I just sent it
language
to you.
like,
It's the last one I sent
wherefore,
you.
premises considered, the undersigned request of this honorable court the following. What the fuck does that even mean?
I just wanted to hear it.
Wherefore, premises considered.
Huh?
I'm getting it.
This woman is a beast.
There. Shut his mouth. Okay, now we need to share it again. What are you guys thinking about all this, huh? Yeah, I know it was just looping. I got it. Everybody thinks this is an easy job. We are on the fly here. We don't have a big studio of people doing studio things. What the hell's wrong with you people? All right, here we go. Here's what Tiff just wanted me to show y'all again. Maybe not. Go ahead, share. Yep. Okay, so share it. All right, here we go. Okay, where's your little volume? Oh, there it is. Little volume button. And we're go.
5 minutes, if you would, please make sure your green light is on, and then state your name and title for the record. Thank you.
It is on. My name is Publius Hulda. I'm a retired litigation attorney, and I write on the original intent of the Constitution using the Federalist Papers. I do not go by Supreme Court opinions because for 200 years the Supreme Court has been ignoring the Federalist Papers and the Constitution our framers given, and they have gone off on tangents of their own which have nothing to do with the Constitution. The Attorney General's opinion begs the question. He states that states can't nullify acts of the federal government which are authorized by the Constitution, but then he completely fails to cite article, section, and verse, a clause, where the Constitution delegates to Congress authority to restrict our arms. When we ratified the Constitution, we created the federal government. We listed, enumerated every power we granted to our creature, the federal government. Article 1, Section 8, Clauses 1 through 16 lists most of the powers we delegated to Congress for the government for the country at large. We didn't put on our list that our creature could restrict our arms. We didn't delegate this power to Congress because our framers wanted the American people to be heavily armed. Alexander Hamilton and James Madison write about this in the Federalist Papers. In Federalist Paper number 46, James Madison writes, "Why the American people are armed. It is so we can defend ourselves, our communities, and our states from the federal government in the event it becomes tyrannical and oversteps the constitutional limits on its powers." In Article 1, Section 8, Clause 16, pursuant to that, Congress passed the Militia Act of 1792, where they required every able-bodied male citizen between the ages of 18 and 46, except for federal officers and employees, to buy a rifle, ammunition, and report to their local militia for training. Pursuant to Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11, Congress is authorized to issue letters of marque and reprisal. This is what authorizes private warships to make war on our enemies. These were the privateers who fired on British ships during the War of 1812. Our framers contemplated a people who were heavily armed. That is why we never delegated to our creature authority to restrict our arms in any fashion whatsoever. And when the federal government attempts to do so, they are usurping powers which they do not possess. The Attorney General goes by court opinions, not the Constitution. There is a vast gulf between the two. We have 200 years of Supreme Court opinions, and Mr. Chairman very kindly shared some of these 200 years of Supreme Court opinions, which have nothing to do with the Constitution. Charles Evans Hughes said over 100 years ago, "The Constitution means what the judges say it means." That has been the prevailing dogma ever since, and generations of lawyers have been indoctrinated with this lie. That is why we no longer have a federal government which is held down by the chains of the Constitution. What we have is rule by five judges on the Supreme Court who claim the power to do whatever they want to us and our country. So today we have two opposites, what the Constitution says and what the Supreme Court says. Well, your oath of office requires you to obey the Constitution, not the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is merely a creature of this Constitution and is completely subject to its terms. My third point, the AG asserts that the that the Supreme Court is the exclusive and final authority on the extent of the powers of the federal government. But our framers knew that Supreme Court judges were as likely as anybody else to be corrupt, usurp powers, and act lawlessly. So Congress, the President, and the states all have checks on the Supreme Court. Hamilton shows in Federalist number 81 that Congress's check on lawless federal judges is to impeach them and remove them from office. The President has his oath of office as a check on the Supreme Court. The President's oath is to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution. It is not to obey the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court was not set up in our Constitution as the superior branch of the federal government. And then there's no need for me to Madison says in his report on the Virginia resolutions that it is a plain principle founded in common sense that the states, as the sovereign parties to the Constitution, are the final authority on whether the federal government has violated the Constitution, and that the states may check all three branches of the federal government, not just, they may check the judiciary, the executive, and the legislative branches by nullifying their acts. If the judicial branch connives with other branches in usurping powers, our Constitution will be destroyed if we do not stop them. This is what James Madison said in his notes on nullification, in his report on the Virginia resolution. I'm sorry I didn't have time to finish. I hope that during questions, someone will ask me about the so-called nullification crisis of...
Wow. Well,
All we need to do is direct them to produce evidence to support their claim of jurisdiction or authority. That's not arguing. That's like line of least resistance.
is this one
And
on?
since they're making the claim, they must
I haven't
provide
seen
the
this one,
burden
but
of
go
proof.
ahead.
If they don't, they have no valid claim. Works like a dream in court.
I'm Bo Johnson. If you listen to this video carefully, there's information powerful enough to start a revolution. I encourage you to watch it. There's a government document almost no American has ever heard of, a document buried deep in the federal archives, rarely discussed, rarely taught. It is called the Parallel Table of Authorities and Rules, or simply the PTAR. And the PTAR does something extraordinary. It maps every federal regulation in the Code of Federal Regulations to the exact statute Congress supposedly used to authorize it. It is the federal government's own quote-unquote chain of command chart, a direct link between statute, delegated authority, regulatory jurisdiction, and enforcement. And here's why this matters. If a regulation has no statutory authority in the PTAR, it has no jurisdiction. If a statute does not map to the relevant CFR part, the agency has no authority to enforce that rule. The PTAR is the mirror the federal government never intended anyone to hold up. And when you hold it up to the IRS, the reflection is devastating. Today I'm going to show you two examples, two sections of the Internal Revenue Code that collapse under PTAR scrutiny. These aren't theories, these aren't loopholes. So the government's own records exposing the truth. Let's begin. The first example, 26 U.S.C. 7203, which is willful failure to file. This is the statute the IRS uses to prosecute Americans for failing to file a tax return. It is the quote-unquote go-to weapon, the statute they lean upon more than any other. But here's the problem. According to the PTAR, the Parallel Table of Authorities and Rules, there is no regulatory delegation for 7203. Not a single regulation in 26 CFR that applies to this statute to private individuals living in the 50 states. None. No listing, no mapping, no authority, no instructions, no jurisdictional foundation. The PTAR exposes no regulation which instructs who is required to file. No regulation identifies the jurisdiction of the statute. No regulation explains under what circumstances filing is required. This is lethal to the IRS because for any criminal statute to apply, it must first apply civilly. The entire IRS enforcement structure must follow this chain: statute, delegation, regulation, enforcement. But 7203 breaks the chain. There is no delegated authority, no implementing regulation, no PTAR entry for individuals, and no proof that Congress empowered Treasury to regulate private citizens under 7203. So when the IRS alleges failure to file, they are relying upon pure presumption, not on statutory or regulatory authority. This is not a loophole. This is a government mistake, a structural failure buried in the PTAR for decades. And now, example 2, it's even more damaging. 26 U.S.C. 7212. This is obstruction of the administration of internal revenue laws. This is the statute the IRS uses to intimidate Americans who challenge its authority. They claim it applies to anyone who questions them, resists them, demands proof of jurisdiction, or stands up for their rights. But the PTAR tells a very different story. Section 7212 is not, and I repeat, not tied to 26 CFR for the income tax. It is tied exclusively to 27 CFR. the regulations of alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Let me say that again. The IRS uses 7212 to prosecute Americans, but the PTAR shows that its regulatory authority exists only in excise jurisdictions and not income tax jurisdictions. The PTAR maps 7212 to the following: 27 CFR Part 40, Part 41, Part 44, Part 45, and Part 46. And these parts regulate alcohol excise taxes, tobacco excise taxes, bonded warehouses, import-export of regulated goods, and firearms manufacturing taxes. Not to private citizens, not wage earners, not those living in the several states, not individuals filing a 1040. The statute is legislatively tied to commodity taxation, not to the general income tax system. This is catastrophic for the IRS's narrative because 7212 has no regulatory foundation in 26 CFR, no mapping to income tax regulations, and no indication in the PTAR that Congress intended its use against the general public. The IRS uses 7212 as a catch-all enforcement weapon, but the PTAR reveals what it truly is: an excise tax enforcement statute misapplied to the American people. This is no small oversight. This is structural overreach. It's deliberate, deceitful, and it's done by design. Why these examples destroy the IRS's presumption? Both 7203 and 7212 expose the same fatal flaw. The IRS is prosecuting statutes even when the regulatory authority does not exist. So let's summarize. For 7203, there's no regulatory mapping, no implementing regulation, and no CFR delegation, as well as no jurisdictional foundation. Enforcement is based entirely on presumption. And for 7212, the regulatory mapping exists, but only for excise taxes in 27 CFR, not for the income tax system, not for private citizens, and not for the several states. This equals misapplication of statute, misuse of jurisdiction, and regulatory fraud. Now, what does this mean? The PTAR proves something the Liberty Dialogues have been saying all along. Federal jurisdiction is not universal. It is specific, delegated, narrow, and often absent. When a statute has no regulation, no delegation, no mapping, or mapping only to excise tax jurisdictions within 27 CFR, then the IRS is enforcing authority it was never granted. The PTAR exposes illegal assumptions, misrepresented statutes, and enforcement actions that collapse under scrutiny. And that is why the PTAR is one of the most powerful tools available for the American people for dismantling federal presumption and restoring the boundaries of constitutional governance. Wow. Because when the government's own records contradict its own enforcement practices, the truth becomes undeniable. The Liberty Dialogues are based upon truth and jurisdiction. Your statement of understanding is essential towards
That's crazy. Absolutely.
Yeah, I need that video.
Crazy. Hell, the video, I found it right here under the following table lists. Oh, it was hard to find it because on here it's called PTOA, Parallel Table of Authorities and Rules, where he was calling it PTAR. The following table lists rulemaking authority. So he's saying that some of these statutes and codes don't lie jurisdiction to you, then they don't pertain to you, right? Like that's pretty much what he's saying.
That is what he's saying. Send it to me. I sent you some stuff too while we was listening to him.
Entries in the table are taken directly from the rulemaking authority citation provided by federal agencies. Wow. Okay. So that's some stuff. I always just get so excited. We find all this stuff sometimes that we never even knew we Never knew what was going on. Oh boy. There's all kinds of things here and stuff that you can click on and do things with. Wow. I've never heard of this shit. I never heard
Me
of that, Tiff.
neither. Me neither.
And you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. Of course, when I started, we didn't have the internet.
I think Amen Osiris, our boy's on right now.
He's in this back room.
No, he's doing a webinar, I think.
Oh.
I think something came on. We want to see him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's doing the introduction. He's on the introduction that Tiff loves so much.
When Osiris, the one and only undisputed God.
Trying to hurry up and show it, Tiff.
America's only 4D education service. Thank God I'm not a lawyer. Thank God this is not a law firm. We don't advocate that you don't support your human offspring. We simply advocate that you made them in private, take care of them. And today, brethren and sistren, I'm coming to you with the 4D Full Frontal Assault webinar. I'm holding this Friday, January 9th, so 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, and I'm holding two on Saturday, January 10th, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. The donation is $200. All right, Cash App is right here and scroll across the screen.
He's just talking about his webinar.
Let me show you what's going on here, gentlemen. In most cases, I would say Happy New Year. All right, but if you are suffering from a 4D compulsion or devastation of your rights, this webinar is for you. Now, what we're going to provide you with is a 2-hour class. All right. The first part of the class is how to launch this full frontal assault against the 4D crime boss. And the second part of the class is how to prove that no valid court order exists requiring you as a Genesis 1:26 man to pay a crime family. Okay. Now, the weapons we're going to give you 2 weapons. All right. We're going to give you one, a notice of cease.
He's on, but I don't know where he went.
And the second one we're going to give you is a notice.
I can hear him.
On the 20 CFR 422-103D property of the Social Security
Anyway.
Administration. I am also going to provide with the webinar library.
I'm going to do something. If I disappear, I'll be right back.
That's fine.
The Social Security, the Section 8 Federal Manual Child Support.
Oh boy.
The Federal Glossary of Common Child Support.
Sometimes I open like 30,000 windows, you know.
Litigant Guide. Use of the 4D regulations. All right.
What did you say?
Of the 4D driver's license.
Nothing important. Trying to shut off Osiris right now.
Of SSN that are used for child support. Now,
making me angry.
If we happen to have them, we will also provide you with the 4D contract that these courts and all these other law-abiding corporations are operating under. Okay, so gentlemen, all right, it is 2026. It is time to get these people out of your life.
Don't do that.
All right, join us on Friday the 9th.
Well, we're about to end anyway.
All right, for this 4D.
Jeff, you're not telling me what to do.
I'm the Amen Osiris, gentlemen. You have your assignments now. Up until those days, I'm going to be posting videos. I'm going to show you why and how this is going to work for you. I'm the Amen Osiris, folks. Hotep.
Oh my. I think I'm getting a head cold.
Oh, you're getting ahead of something.
Yeah, you see my new queen hat?
I did. It's very nice. Looks like the other one.
Well, this one's in gold. The other one's in white, and I'm still waiting on my box from you.
Sorry, for the first time since we showed you the rescue attempt of a Lake Lure couple stranded on a cliff, we now know what happened to the
There you go. I got it. Shut it
Oh
off.
my.
You know what? I want to. Oh my. Fostering Reality had a new clip out that he wanted me to
Oh,
share.
we'll share it then.
It's quicker. Yeah, it's quicker than it's not a 16-minute one. But let's get this baby out here for him. And you guys, if you don't pay attention to Derek, he's awesome. He's really something. He knows what's up, man. He gets it. He's in a whole nother level of what fighting CPS and all of that stuff is. This guy is. Oh, he's got a new one up
We'll
too.
play both of them.
Well, should we do the brand? All right, here we go. We got the New Year distraction. Well, right here. This is the new one, and he kind of this kind of touches on us a little bit, Tiff, I think, according to him.
Oh, we did what?
Go for the bait.
What
According
bait?
to Derek. Well, you'll see in just a minute. Hold on.
Oh no.
Yeah, we did. We didn't pass his test. Here we go.
Okay.
All right.
Happy New Year, guys. I've been seeing all of this stuff on the Somali daycares, and I want to slow this down for a second because a lot of people are stuck arguing about the surface story and they're missing what's actually happening underneath. You're seeing the videos about the Somali daycare centers and you're hearing the word fraud, you're hearing funding freezes, you're hearing outrage, and that's the distraction layer. What's actually happening has nothing to do with Somali providers specifically. This has been cycling through American daycare centers, group homes, rehabs, and social services for over 50 years. Different communities, same outcome, same system move. Every time you hear prove you're using the money correctly, what that actually means is prove it can be translated into data. This system no longer runs on trust, judgment, or human discretion. It runs on logs, timestamps, attendance verification, standardized notes, and machine-readable compliance. If your daycare, group home, or program can't feed clean data into a federal or city system, you become a risk. Not because you harmed anyone, but because you can't be audited fast enough. Here's the part that most people are missing. Caseworkers, inspectors, reviewers, the human decision makers are now the liability. They're not the solution. For the last decade, those workers have been training the software in real time. Every visit note, every attendance check, every compliance warning, every override. The system learned the patterns, the thresholds, the workarounds, and the excuses. Now, they don't need them the same way. That's why you're seeing job cuts. That's why you're seeing automation. That's why you're seeing funding freezes used as leverage instead of investigations. The machine doesn't ask questions, it flags, it scores, it suspends, it escalates. This is the switch I've been talking about. It's not a policy change, not a political party. It's a structural handoff. Care used to be human first and documentation second. Now, documentation is first and care is optional as long as it fits inside the model. Immigrant ran, community ran, informal systems get labeled high risk because flexibility looks like inconsistency to a machine. Trust looks like fraud, adaption looks like non-compliance, and think about this for a second. There are thousands of children with U.S. birth certificates who are missing inside the foster care system right now, today. Not rumors, not theories, documented gaps. Children who entered care and were never properly tracked out. That's not new. That stretches back decades. I personally know foster children lost inside the system, not to mention my own lifeline at 16 was cut. And this goes back 100 years into American history. All the way from there, up through the Obama era, through detention facilities, through kids in cages, through the faith-based organizations, group home giants that have been billing the government legally for years while outcomes have collapsed. And we're supposed to be outraged because a small group of providers might be stealing money? Money, by the way, in the exact same structures this government has protected, funded, and normalized for decades when it's done by large institutions with clean paperwork and political installation. Children went missing, children died, children were warehoused. Children have been erased in systems that are fully compliant. But this is the crisis? That tells you something important. It tells you that this outrage is not about children. It's about the control of the narrative and control of the pipeline. When a system suddenly decides to look moral, it's usually because the data layer is being reconfigured. The narrative engine is at full idle and you can hear it starting to throttle. So, what happens next is pretty predictable in my opinion. More centralized platforms, fewer humans allowed to override them, more temporary freezes that quietly shut down providers who can't adapt, more software vendors stepping in to fix the problem, and more families wondering why care feels colder, faster, and harder to access. This isn't about one group. It's about a system that decided humans are messy and liability is expensive. I've seen this movie before. Foster care was the pilot, CPS was the testing ground, predictive models were the rehearsal, child care is just the next node. And if you're still arguing about the surface narrative, you're already behind the switch. And like I've been saying, they're gonna say that you asked for this. Have a good New Year.
Whew. He is deep. Tiff, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, what'd you think of that?
Well,
Yeah, real good stuff. Revolution Records, real good. He's a good friend of ours.
yeah, he is. I believe him because everything really that's big and it hits the news, it's always a distraction for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we talk about it. What's his other one?
What'd you just say? What'd you just say?
That's why we talk about it.
Oh, I got distracted.
Oh, my bad.
Hey, the app is it's a real thing. It's come to life. The cpspunisher.com will be 100% tomorrow morning. So everybody brace yourselves because it is ready to come out. Everybody will be able to use it, and it's massive. Is the stuff that we've added to it is crazy, Tiff. All right, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, I'm supposed to share the screen too. This is the most important one, he said.
Unadopted aged out foster care survivor, and I didn't just learn this system from studying textbooks and reform panels. Though I'm all up in that now, I was actually born inside this motherboard. I barely survived it, and then I spent years dismantling its logic. From the original child-saving movements of the 1800s through modern CPS, funding ASFA enforcement timelines, and the CCWIS data architecture that now decides outcomes long before parents realize a decision has even been made. CCWIS, or the Comprehensive Child Welfare Information System, is the soul of CPS. It's automated, and in my opinion, it's evil. So in this walkthrough, I'll be referring to it as Quiz. Secrets of the Beast is not a motivational series. It's not advocacy theater. It's just a system walkthrough for parents currently in an open CPS case and for parents who are still disoriented because their case technically closed, but the consequences never did. And when I say help, I mean teaching you how to stop self-incriminating inside a machine that rewards compliance theater and punishes the emotional truth that you're actually living. This is not legal advice, this is just system literacy. There are no promises here, there is only awareness. So this is the New Year edition, and if you're thinking that New Year means new inside the system, then you already might not quite understand the system that you're inside. Parents think January means reset, but the system thinks January means audit. Quist data cycles harden, supervisor expectations recalibrate, ASFA clocks tighten, funding justification, pressure increases. What does not reset is your behavioral history. Nothing decays, nothing expires, everything just aggregates. So today we're talking about the visitation, because visitation is one of the most powerful enforcement mechanisms in an open CPS case, and almost nobody is explaining this honestly online. So let me ask you something directly. What do you think the most dangerous document in your CPS case is? It's not the petition, and it's not the psychological evaluation. It's not even the court order. The most dangerous document is the visit note. Visit notes are sold to parents as neutral observation, but that's a lie of framing, not intent. A visit note is a compressed behavioral packet designed to translate human interaction into QUIS-compatible risk fields. Once that translation happens, nuance is gone, context is gone, and intent is gone. What remains is the pattern. QUIS does not store stories, it stores flags and patterns. So here's what parents are almost never told. Most visit notes are not written as the visit unfolds. They're reconstructed after the fact. They're filtered through prior reports, supervisor pressure, placement feedback, and the trajectory that your case is already coded towards. So the note is not a transcript, it's an alignment document. And this is why two parents can behave nearly identical and receive radically different documentation. It's not the system lying, it's compressing reality to fit the outcome pipeline. Quiz does not read nuance. It reads fields like transition difficulty, visit escalation, emotional regulation, authority response, post-visit dysregulation, placement impact, and service justification. Language that sounds harmless to a parent becomes dangerous once it's actually translated. Child appears excited becomes overstimulation. Child struggled at the goodbye becomes transition difficulty. Parent required redirection becomes boundary resistance. Parent struggle to disengage becomes emotional enmeshment. Child dysregulated post-visit becomes placement destabilization. None of these mean you're a bad parent. They just mean that the system just learned how expensive your presence is. This is where psychology matters, but not the therapy psychology. This is power psychology. Parents enter visitation operating from attachment brain. Repair, explanation, reassurance. You're responding to separation trauma in real time. The system is not operating from that space at all. The system operates from compliance shaping, liability minimization, and time conservation. Those two operating systems are incompatible. This is why good parents keep accidentally training the system to erase them. We try to fix the visit notes verbally. We explain, we clarify, we advocate emotionally. Inside the system, that is the self-incrimination. Verbal corrections are not logged. Emotional tone, resistance velocity, and compliance latency is logged. The more you talk, the more you feed the model. So parents leave thinking that they've corrected a record, but the system leaves with more data to be used against you. So here is a base rule to remember before you ever walk into a visit. You never fight the visit note inside the visit. You correct them later, in writing, in a way that is boring enough to survive quiz ingestion. After every visit, you write your own note the same day, and it's time-stamped. It's neutral, it contains no accusations and no emotional framing. You don't say that anyone was wrong. If something like that comes up, you just say you're adding context for accuracy. Context is tolerated, defense is flagged. Now here's where it stops being theory and becomes execution. Because parents are not just being observed, they're being tested, and those tests change depending on where you are in the case timeline. When I say you mirror their structure, I'm not talking about paperwork only. I'm talking about how you structure the visit itself. Because the visit is raw material that gets compressed into a note. And if you control the structure, you control what data is even available to be harvested. Visits should never be treated as free-form time because free-form time creates unpredictable data, and unpredictable data invites interpretation. A visit should be broken into deliberate phases that align with how CPS documents behavior and how quiz fields are populated. The opening phase is regulation and grounding. This is not the time for questions, explanations, or emotional unloading. The greeting should be the same every visit. Same words, same tone, same physical distance. That doesn't mean cold, it means safe. A system-safe greeting is short, warm, and bounded. Something like, hey love, I'm really glad to see you. We're gonna hang out for a bit, do some drawing, and then we'll wrap up like we always do. No questions, no updates, no explanations about court, the case, or how much you missed them. What that does psychologically is critical. You acknowledge connection, you name structure, and you anchor the ending immediately. That reduces anticipatory anxiety, which is what drives dysregulation later. Regulation at the beginning flattens the curve at the end. Asking, how have you been? It feels loving, but it forces the child to scan their internal state under observation. That produces emotional variance, and emotional variance gets coded. Love here is not intensity. Love is containment. The next phase is parallel activity, not competitive activity. This is where many parents accidentally sabotage themselves. Competitive games introduce winning, losing, frustration tolerance, authority negotiation, and emotional spikes. That's rich data, and it's not in your favor. Parallel activities like drawing, building, or reading side by side allow the child to lead without you directing outcomes. You're present, attentive, and responsive, but you're not controlling the space. Letting the child lead doesn't mean chaos. It means you guide the container, not the content. You set the boundaries, the child chooses within them. That distinction matters because quiz language differentiates between parental structure and parental control. One stabilizes, the other gets coded as intrusive or enmeshment depending on the worker's frame. The next phase should be a cooperative task with a clear beginning and end. Clean up routines, simple puzzles, organizing materials, or finishing a shared project. This phase exists for one reason: follow through. Follow-through is one of the strongest protective signals across jurisdictions because it maps directly to service compliance, visit progression, and eventual reunification narratives. You're showing completion without pressure. Everything up to this point is preparation. This next part is where cases are won or lost quietly. Then comes transition preparation, and this is the most important part of the entire visit. Transitions are weighted heavier than play, affection, or conversation because transitions predict placement stability. 5-minute warning, 2-minute warning, 1-minute warning. Calm voice, same phrasing every time. No bargaining, no apologies, no guilt statements. Guilt escalates dysregulation, and dysregulation after the visit gets coded against you, not the placement. So parents also need a model for leaving because goodbye is where attachment brain and system logic collide the hardest. A system-safe goodbye is calm, brief, and consistent. Something like, I had a great time with you today. We're going to pick this up next time. I'll see you soon. Then you stand up, hand off cleanly, and you go. No apologies for leaving. No, I hate this. No, I wish things were different. Those statements load the child with emotional weight that carries straight back into the placement, and that weight gets reported. Love it goodbye is reassurance without collapse. Your calm teaches the child that separation is survivable. The system reads that as stability. This is also where parents can actively reduce post-visit fallout. Ending something that is meant to continue next time is not a trick. It's a regulation strategy, leaving a drawing unfinished, pausing a book mid-chapter, keeping a shared notebook that resumes next visit. Continuity without rupture reduces emotional crash. Reduced crash reduces post-visit dysregulation. Reduced dysregulation flattens placement reports, and flattens placement reports protect the visitation. So you're not doing this for settlement. You're doing it because placement feedback carries more weight than your words. When the child returns to placement regulated, the visit is coded as stabilizing even if it was emotionally rich. When the child returns dysregulated, the visit gets coded as a destabilizing event, even if it looked perfect in the room. This is why you don't escalate emotion at the goodbye. This is why you don't linger, and you don't argue about the time. The last 5 minutes of this visit are more expensive than the first 5. Now understand how this aligns with timelines. At the early phase of a case, visits are baseline capture, affect regulation, authority response, compliance velocity. Mid-phase, usually months 2 through 5, consistency under repetition and stress. The later phases, when ASFA pressure increases, rather visitation supports or undermines permanency planning. The same behavior can be interpreted differently depending on the phase. A tearful goodbye in month 1 may be tolerated, but the same goodbye in month 6 may justify modification. This isn't about fairness, it's about the timeline logic. This is why you don't overperform early and you don't escalate late. You stay boring across the whole time. Your behavior should look almost identical in month 1 and month 6. That consistency is what protects you when the file turns predictive, and your documentation and your visit structure work together. Your notes are not there to convince CPS today. They're there to survive comparison later. When your contemporaneous notes align with your visit structure and your visit structure produces predictable placement outcomes, narrative drift becomes expensive. And cost matters more than intent ever will in this system. Supervisors care about the cost, courts care about the defendability, and agencies care about liability. Your job is not to be understood, your job is to be expensive to mischaracterize. This is why you do the minimum required engagement and nothing extra. You comply where required. You don't volunteer, you don't perform insight, and you do not explain your feelings. You let the system starve on low signal input. That's not disengagement. That's controlled discipline under observation. Visitation is not where you heal the relationship. Healing happens later. Visitation is where the system decides whether you are manageable across time. If you treat visits like an emotional reunion, you give the system leverage. If you treat a visit like a controlled environment, you're taking the leverage away. That's the quiet gate. It's not mystical, it's procedural. And once you see it, you stop walking into it blind and you stop training the system to erase you. I pray that you never need this walkthrough. But the truth is, in this country, roughly 70,000 families a week are pulled into an open CPS case. That's about 10,000 families every single day who didn't wake up thinking that they would need this information. So, if this helped you, or you know someone who might need it someday, please like it, share it, and repost it. Not for me, but because someone you'll never meet is about to enter a system that they don't understand. And this may be the only map they ever see. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Dang, man. Woo! Lordy Lord.
Good
If you guys didn't
information.
get it, man, if you guys didn't get that, then holy smokes. That was some good stuff right there. I suggest you guys go back, watch that again. Fostering Reality on YouTube. Man, that was some good stuff. That was some really good stuff. And we're glad that Derek's around us. We'll beat these bastards. We will. See y'all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye, Tiff.
Kids are being taken one by one. Families broken apart. The world keeps moving on. Nobody here to fight. Where are the warriors? Where are the dads? Where are the mothers? This is so sad. I know a place where warriors are made. It's a podcast of true family fighters. You need to listen tonight. Tiff and the Punisher coming for CPS. Tiff and the Punisher. Be our next guest. CPs took your children, chased your husband away, left you alone and vulnerable. Let me hear you say, Tiff and the Punisher, coming for CPS. Tiff and the Punisher. Be our next guest. Do not be afraid. Wipe your tears away. We need to come together. It's our time. So need to tell your friends. Watch the show. If CPS comes, this is where you go. They won't win this war against us. This is our crew. We have your trust. Advocates unlock the others. They care for us. They hold us up high. They make us feel important. Others pass us by. Tiff and the Punisher. Tiff and the Punisher. Coming for CP. Tiff and the Punisher. Tiff and the Punisher. Be our next
They said don't fight the system. They said stay quiet.
They were wrong. Lock in. We are exposing what so many have failed to. We are going to show you what bar attorneys have hidden from all of us. Hundreds of thousands of children and twice that of parents have been lied to and walked down the road of termination. It's the death penalty. We're all of the protesters, the ones who fight for the rights of prisoners, dogs, illegal immigrants. Why aren't you coming to the aid of our children and families? Right here in America, every day is child per minute is kidnapped. And no one cares. We fight alone until today. CPS Punishers mount up. Here comes the CPS Punisher. Anonymous tip, another lie from one of them. No warrant, no proof, just a badge and a grin. Stealing kids like trophies, thinking they'll win. Mama crying on the porch, daddy in the cage. System wrote the script, but the CPS Punisher just flipped the page. The educator they banned, I see every violation, every forged line, every ex-part hearing, every stolen time. One tap of the app and the truth ignites. Welcome to the CPS Punisher, now we can fight. CPS and the courts have lied to us all. The courts will not disgrace the family. CPS Punisher. in the night. The binder full of secrets, the weapons you all need. Ab initio, watch me void that lie. Fourth Amendment armor, watch the tyrants cry. Falsified drug test gone in a flash. I see Tevio, warrior, due process king. Every parent's hero when the hotline rings. I call it justice. Download the truth, now the system busts us. From the courtroom to the streets, hear the battle cry. The CPS punishers arrive. Kiss your bar asses goodbye. They tried to silence us. Now we're the loudest voice in the room.
CPS Punisher!
Here to avoid the chains and expose the game.
CPS Punisher!
The educator they never wanted you to find.
Born as her!
The children never leave again. Families rise, we never look back. We now use the CPS Punisher. This ain't revenge. This is reunification. This ain't rage. This is resurrection. Open the app. Step into the fight. You ready?
CPS Punisher!
The app you need when they took your kid.
CPS Punisher!
The truth they hid, now the truth gets lit.
Born as her!
Download the power, take back the throne.
Punisher!
You're never alone. CPS Punisher. The educator they never wanted you to find. Void complete. Family restored. The bar is finished. The Constitution will prevail. Judges do what's right. Treason is your penalty. Here comes the CPS Punisher.
We know it's all about the money. We know they lie. We know this is corruption. Does CPS know what they are doing to the children?
Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division is what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
CPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just the mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem, stealing our kids. It's not mama drama. Stand up for all those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
Imagine being a child who has been torn away from their security blanket, their parents, the ones who stopped the boogeyman from terrorizing the nights and curing their boo-boos when they scraped their knees. Now just imagine how they might'st feel when the CPS meant to protect them tears them away from their supposed abusers and places them with strangers who have zero comforting skills. They need to be calmed. They are confused, lost, panicked, and needing their parents, but CPS took them away for the purpose of saving them. The kids don't even know why, and they are told that the parents they attach to no longer want them. What do you think that does? Do you think that this is how protecting children is supposed to look? Abolish CPS.